Okay.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is May 8th, 2022, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, my mother, my wife, and all the mothers, all right? Bitcoin is looking like it still has yet to lose support, okay? And I don't think it will. Bottoms are ugly, all right? This is a fact. This is not when you're supposed to be feeling the best about the market. This is not when you're supposed to be hearing great news about the markets and how everyone's excited to invest, right? This is literally the opposite. The time when everybody's supposed to be throwing their hands up in capitulation. The times when everybody's supposed to say, well, we had a nice run while it lasted, or why did I ever do this in the first place? This is literally that time, right? So emotionally, you should be prepared for what you're hearing. You should be prepared for what you're seeing on Twitter and all that stuff in the media. This is literally the best time to buy. Not financial advice, but this is the best time to buy, where you have extreme fear, right? And if you look, you'll see we have extreme fear in the market, right? This is look into Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. You can see a lot of iterations or versions of this chart, but it basically shows you where we have extreme fear and extreme greed. And extreme fear typically correlates with bottoms, and extreme greed typically correlates with tops. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect correlation, but it's close, okay? It's close. Extreme fear, a score of 11 on in 2018, December 2018. What ensued was a massive run-up, okay? Extreme greed in 2019. What ensued? Massive downtrend, okay? Extreme fear, 2020, March 2020, COVID drop. Extreme fear, right? A score of 14. That was a score of 14, mind you. Keep that in mind. Massive run-up, okay? Extreme greed. April of 2021, a big drawdown. All right, score of 19. Extreme fear. July of 2021, massive run up. Extreme greed. November of 2021, big drawdown. All right, so basically it's a pattern, right? If you knew nothing about technical analysis and only exclusively used market sentiment as an indicator, as a tool to inform your buying and selling, you would do quite well, okay? And this should be taken into account. There's a reason why myself, I'm like, damn it, my account is down almost 50%. I feel terrible about the markets. What am I doing? I'm questioning my life choices. This is literally what you should be doing during the bottom. So if you're feeling like that, know that you should be feeling like that, because that's how markets work. All right. This is the first point I wanted to make. Okay. So look at and the next point I want to make is look at the scores we're getting in this fear, right? We are getting 18, right? 18. We had a 13 in January of this year. Okay. A 13 and an 18. I don't think we've ever gotten a 13. Well, we had a 9 at the COVID drop. That was the low. Okay. But 13, 18, that's extreme fear. Okay. So the point is made. Now, looking at the charts, how are we doing? It's not the nicest, okay? And many things can happen. However, I'm still a buyer, and I do believe that we have yet to breach major support, okay? And by breach, I mean really break the support, right? My first case is looking at the VPVR, the horizontal, whoops, that's not how I wanted to draw it, the horizontal volume indicator. And you'll see here, a lot of buying and selling is done between the areas of 38.8 and 31.4, okay? 38.8 and 31.4 is pretty much where we hung out during the last consolidation at the bottom of this blue channel, okay? And we were flirting with 30K, and we did a lot of buying and selling here. So there's a lot of orders to be filled, right, between the areas of 38 and 31, okay? So for me, just looking at the VPVR, we're not even at the we're about at the halfway point of this range. But if we start flirting with the bottoms, okay, then I'm preparing for capitulation, okay, for actual capitulation, which I don't think is coming, okay. And another thing is I'm looking at the volume, and I'm on the daily time frame, but my volume, let me change this color. My volume is still decreasing, okay. If I have a downtrend and the volume is not supporting the move, meaning there are not increasing numbers of sellers as the price is going down, that tells me generally that this is not a market supported move. The market is actually in accumulation. People are looking to buy. People are looking to for the price to go up because they're not selling the further down the price is going, right? This is basically what volume tells you. And this is one of the reasons I love the volume indicator, because it is just, there's little sort of fanfare to it. It's not an indicator of indicators. It's a primary indicator, and it tells you very simply what's going on. Price is decreasing, volume is decreasing. Zoom out and notice this, my friends. Okay, and what do we know about channels? Channels typically only show volume once they break, okay? So that's another way I would be able to tell, okay, this is when this channel is breaking in earnest, right? Because we would get volume. Same with going and breaking it to the top. I don't believe that we will get massive volume until we really break the channel. If we break the channel, if we were to break the channel to the downside, then I would expect volume to reflect that. Then I'm waiting for the retest, as I said yesterday, before selling out. Okay, until that point, I'm not a seller. Okay, I'm a buyer. I'm a frustrated buyer. An impatient buyer, but I'm still a buyer in this market, okay? And so this is pretty much the thesis, okay? I still believe that we're at support. I still believe that given what I'm seeing with the volume indicator, given what I'm seeing with the stochastic RSI being pretty much bottomed out, okay? Bottomed out on the daily, close to bottomed on the weekly, okay? We're close to a bottom on the weekly. I don't anticipate that we'll necessarily get a bottom on the weekly before turning back around, but we're close to bottomed on the weekly. And mind you, we've had 6 red weekly candles, right? So the chances that we have a 7th are very slim. I anticipate, just on the balance of probability, given the chart, given everything, that we will have a green week. Next week will be a green week. The weekly close is Sunday, today, in a few hours, right? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time zone. This red weekly candle that you see will form a wick, a buying wick, heralding a green week coming. I'm very confident of that, okay? 6 red weeks in a row. That's something that we haven't seen since 2014, I believe, okay? Going to the 12-hour time frame, once again, you're bottomed out. You're bottomed out, right? And so if you were just to use the stochastic RSI as an indicator of when to buy, when to sell, and you were just to sell the tops, right, as oversold, and buy the bottoms, you would do quite well if you were to do that, because we're literally on the bottom of the 12-hour stochastic RSI, and the 8-hour as well bottomed out. And finally, if you look at the 4-hour, you see that we have very strong bullish divergence, okay? And this is one thing that's giving the whole case to the upside it's a good argument for why we would move up, okay, in the immediate short term, all right? So let me point it out. So here, let's take the magnet off. So we have lower lows, okay? And again, you have these lower lows, but it's like bleeding out, okay? There's no sharp, big moves to the downside. You had this impulse to the downside, right? Kind of breaching this blue line of support, but not really breaking it. Breaching it, but not really breaking it, okay? And then ever since then, there's been a sideways consolidation to the downside, okay? Since the 5th, okay? So 3 days of steady, sort of slow, meticulous, deliberate selling, okay? But not like impulsive selling. Once again, even on the small time frames, your volume is decreasing. So that isn't it's volume divergent, meaning it's not, if you're a seller, I would get out of my selling positions. I would be very careful not to continue selling into a trend that's not volume supported, okay? Because that is indication of a reversal. And then you see that you have strong bullish divergence because not only is your volume decreasing, right? I'll keep that on here, but also your stochastic RSI momentum indicator is increasing, right? So you've had a cross, so that's confirmed bullish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. All right, so this is why I think immediately we should get some relief. We should get some relief in the next few 4-hourly candles. So that's what I have. This is why I'm still a buyer at these levels. I know it's ugly. Bottoms are supposed to be ugly. I do not think we've yet capitulated. And the last thing I'm going to say is, I know a lot of people are saying, well, we're not going to stop selling. We're not going to stop this downtrend until we get a big candle, volume supported candle to the downside, and then, bounce back up. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. And once again, and I know I've mentioned this in the past, but I really want to draw your attention to what happened last July. Okay, last July was a little different. Instead of 100 days of consolidation like we've been in, we only had 30 or so days of consolidation before a move up, okay? And look at what happened last July before our big move to the upside. Where was that big volume supported candle? Where was that capitulation to the downside with a lot of volume? We didn't get it. Okay. And this is basically a good example as to why you don't always need consolidation, or sorry, you don't always need capitulation for a trend change, especially when you're leaving consolidation. Okay. I explained this using Wyckoff method. Wyckoff explains this well. There's a video to that. I'll link to it in the upper right. But you just look at that. You're bottom down on the daily on the stochastic RSI. Okay, so that was one of your cues for buying. And then you can just basically see that you started moving up. You formed a bullish engulfing candle, reclaiming that support that you had lost in this blue line, and then you kept going up from there. But at the same time, you never had a massive spike in volume because you're in a channel and you're in consolidation. So this is something that you need to keep in mind if you want to wait until that volume candle to buy. You may not necessarily get it. You may get it because the next move, according to Elliott Wave, we know is going to be impulsive, okay? So it's going to be different than that move, which was corrective. It was 3 waves. Our next move we anticipate will be a 5-wave move. So we may get volume, we may not get volume, but we shouldn't necessarily be waiting for volume for a trend change. That's my point. All right. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Do something nice for them. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Keep your heads up. Bye.